Good evening to all and welcome to the session 200 grammar rules. So far you have learned 144 rules. Today you are going to learn from the 145. All these rules go with active voice and passive voice. To understand these rules, and many of these rules go with the sentence pattern. To understand these rules you have to have the basic knowledge related to active voice and passive voice. What is active voice? When the subject is a doer of the action, we say the sentence is in active voice. When the subject is a receiver of the action, we say the sentence is in passive voice. I'm going to start with present tense. Passive voice, present tense. What is a pattern? Here you should focus on the pattern. They ask questions based on the sentence pattern. We should use to be, the primary auxiliary to be, present form, plus verb, past participle form, to change active voice to passive voice. For example, he teaches English. Which tense is this? Present tense. Which form is it? Active voice. He teaches English. Usually, what happens when we change active voice to passive voice? The object comes to the subject position, subject goes to the object position. This one has to remember. Without an object, you cannot change a sentence to passive voice, though exceptions are there. He teaches English. He subject, teaches verb, teaches what? English object. How does it change to passive voice? English is taught by him. Here, what is a pattern? We should use to be in the present form. Any sentence in passive voice, remember, then the main verb is always in past participle form. Teach, taught, taught by him. He changes to him. Here it is in the subject position. Here it is in the object position. They buy flowers every morning. They buy what? Flowers. Object becomes the subject. Here flowers plural form. Based on that, flowers are bought by them every morning. Buy, bought, bought. Here what you have to focus on the sentence pattern. Based on the sentence pattern, they ask the questions. Next one, present continuous tense. Active voice to passive voice. We should use to be present form plus being. This is the most important word. Any continuous tense in passive voice, you have to look for the word being. And any sentence in passive voice, you have to look for the main verb in past participle form. Take it for granted. So, what is the pattern over here? We should use to be present form, being, verb past participle form to change active voice to passive voice of present continuous tense. If you try to contrast, what is the difference between present tense passive voice, present continuous passive voice? Only one word. Which one is that? Being. In present tense passive voice, you don't find the word being, but any continuous tense, you have to look for the word being. Look at the examples. She is making a special dish. She is making what? A special dish. This becomes a subject. A special dish is to be present form because it is a continuous tense, the word being. Make, made, made. Made, verb past participle form by her. She is making a special dish. A special dish is being made by her. They are painting the house. They are painting what? The house object. The house is being painted by them. Here, the difference between present tense and present continuous, the word being. Otherwise, more or less the same pattern, but for the time phrases. Rule number 147, passive voice, past tense. We should use to be past form plus verb, past participle form to change active voice to passive voice, past tense. Again, if you contrast present tense and past tense, passive voice, what is the difference? Present tense to be in the present form, past tense to be in the past form. Otherwise, it is the same pattern, but for the time phrases. She broke a cup last evening. She broke what? A cup. This becomes the subject when you change it to passive voice. A cup was broken. Here to be in the past, break, broke, broken, verb past participle form by her last evening. They sold a lot of stuff yesterday. A lot of stuff was sold by them yesterday. Was to be in past, sell, sold, sold, verb past participle form. As such, same pattern between present passive voice, past passive voice, but for. To be there in the present form, here in the past form. Obviously, the time phrases they change. Time phrases are tense specific. Rule number 148, past continuous tense. We should use to be in the past form, any continuous tense being compulsory. Any sentence in passive voice, the main verb is always in past participle form. So, what is the pattern over here? We should use to be past form being verb past participle form to change active voice to passive voice. Again, if you contrast present continuous passive voice, past continuous passive voice, one difference. What is it? Same pattern, but for present continuous passive voice to be in the present form, past continuous passive voice to be in the past form. Otherwise, it is the same pattern. She was washing the clothes. Washing what? The clothes. The clothes, plural, were to be in the past, plural form, being washed by her. Wash, washed, washed, a regular verb. He was reading a book. He was reading what? A book. A book becomes a subject. A book was to be in the past, being read by him, past continuous passive voice. Here you should focus on, in a way, these go with sentence patterns, but in a way they are rules. You have to focus on the verb forms. It was being carried, a few practice questions. It was being carried by them. This is in, first you have to know whether the given sentence is in active voice or passive voice. Only then you will be able to, you should give it a try to change. It was being carried by them, was being carried. Then you have to tell yourself it is past continuous tense, passive voice. How do you change it to active voice, past continuous? They were carrying it. They were carrying it. When you change it to passive, this is active voice, past continuous. When you change it to passive voice, it was being carried by them. They bring exquisite paintings. This is an active voice. At the outset, you have to know for sure whether the given sentence is in active voice or passive voice. They bring exquisite paintings. Active voice, which tense is it? Present tense. How do you change it to passive voice? Exquisite paintings. They bring what? Exquisite paintings. Start with exquisite paintings, plural form. Were brought, not were, I'm sorry. They bring, present tense. Exquisite paintings are brought by them. They bring what? Exquisite paintings are brought by them. Then it is correct. Present tense, passive voice. He is driving the new car. This is again active voice. And which tense is it? Present continuous tense. He is driving the new car. How do you change it to passive voice? The new car is being driven, is being driven by him. He is driving the new car. The new car is being driven by him. To be in the present form, any continuous tense being compulsory, and verb past participle form, drive, drove, driven. The new car is being driven by him. They briefed the chairman yesterday. Which tense is this? It is an active voice, past tense. How does it change? The chairman, singular. The chairman was briefed by them yesterday. The chairman was briefed to be in the past, main verb, past participle form. It's a regular verb. The chairman was briefed by them yesterday. Who made this idol? This is an important question because it goes with common errors. By whom? First, you have to know who made this idol. This is past tense and active voice. By whom was this idol made? By whom was this idol made? Common error, a lot of people tend to say, by whom this idol was made. You cannot use in affirmative form. It should be in interrogative. By whom was this idol made? If you say by whom this idol was made, that is affirmative, not correct. Here it is a question, interrogative. In passive voice also it should be in interrogative form. By whom was this idol made? Another example, who taught you English? By whom were you taught English? Not by whom you were taught English, which is a common error. By whom were you taught? By whom was this idol made? Next, she is not watering the plants. This is active voice and present continuous tense. She is not watering the plants. And which form is it? Negative form. She is not watering what? The plants. The plants are not being watered by her. The plants are not being watered by her. Any continuous tense, we have to use the word being. And what is the sentence pattern? Present continuous. To be in the present form, here plural, plural form, and being verb past participle form. Water usually a noun, but here it has been used as a verb. Water, watered, watered. The plants are not being watered by her. She is not watering the plants. The plants are not being watered by her. They published the book last year. Which tense is this? Past tense and active voice. How does it change? The book was published, was published by them last year. They published the book last year. The book was published by them last year. He was cleaning the room. This is again past continuous tense, active voice. How does it change to passive voice? The room was, he was cleaning. The room was being cleaned by him. He was cleaning the room. The room was being cleaned by him. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, four more rules. Thank you.